Somehow I can still see. Children look like burnt paper. Black. Not moving. And then the blast wave hits them. And they fly apart like leaves.
Dreams. The end of the world are very common.
It's not a dream anymore. It's real. I know the date it happens.
I'm sure it feels very real to you.
On August 29th, 1997, it's gonna feel pretty fucking real to you, too. Anybody not wearing 2 million sunblock is gonna have a real bad day. Get it? Good. You think you're safe and
Major
alive?
explosion disabled parts of Iran's uranium enrichment facility at Natanz, south of Tehran. Iran quickly blamed Israel. As John Yang tells us, this also comes as indirect talks between the U.S. and Iran over the 2015 nuclear deal are set to resume later this week.
The facility was knocked offline just hours after launching its new advanced centrifuges. Tehran said Sunday's blackout at the Natanz facility, considered a centerpiece of Iran's uranium enrichment program, had caused a fire. They called it an act of nuclear terrorism and blamed Israel.
Various sources confirmed that the Zionist regime was behind this incident.
Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif said Natanz would be rebuilt to more quickly enrich uranium. State media quoted him as saying, "The Zionists wanted to take revenge against the Iranian people for their success on the path of lifting sanctions." And he said Iran will take revenge for this action. In Israel, media widely reported that the country's spy agency orchestrated the sabotage, even though officials have not claimed responsibility. But speaking in Jerusalem today, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would never permit Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
I will never allow Iran to obtain the nuclear capability to carry out its genocidal goal of eliminating Israel. And Israel will continue to defend itself against Iran's aggression and terrorism.
Hostility between the two countries has played out in recent years through a series of clandestine attacks, from a mysterious explosion at Natanz last July to November's death of the Iranian scientist who launched the nuclear program decades ago. And Iran, in turn, has carried out its own attacks on at least 2 Israeli-owned cargo ships. Israel has been critical of the Biden administration's attempts to revive the Iran nuclear deal, which would, in part, ease sanctions on Iran. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin in Israel this weekend said attempts at diplomacy would not be overshadowed by recent events.
Those efforts will continue, and I'm very obviously supportive of the president's efforts to negotiate a way ahead there.
Indirect talks between the United States and Iran resume Wednesday in Vienna, but European officials acting as mediators voiced concern.
What we are hearing from Tehran at the moment is not a positive contribution to this.
In a letter to the UN Secretary General today, Zarif called on the United States not to use the attack as leverage in negotiations and asked for an end to sanctions that have been in place since President Trump abandoned the nuclear deal.
Exactly how the United States is going to declare war on Iran. What he said was that Israel is going to basically go to war over the uranium enrichment that Iran is going to pursue. And after Israel goes to war, we're going to go and back up Israel. So this is some of what to tell us. So let's continue on here.
Here's the way this is headed. If they start enrichment at the levels they're talking about in a few days, Israel over time will have to respond. There's one nation on the planet that's not going to give the Iranians a pass on their nuclear program. That's Israel. Israel will, as a last resort, attack to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran. We will come to their aid.
As a last resort, he says. So he admits that, for one, Iran can, because we have no nuclear deal with them, remember? So the deal that we had with them was going to prevent them from enriching their uranium. Well, we tossed that deal out of the window a year ago, so they're free to do whatever they want. They still have a deal with Europe, but they announced to Europe on Monday that they were going to start their nuclear program again, that they were going to start amping up their uranium enrichment in 10 days from Monday. So now, we don't really have a reason to turn on them and say, you can't do this. And what's interesting about this is Israel was actually one of the main nations telling us, Israel and Saudi Arabia were the two nations that absolutely did not want a nuclear deal with Iran. They didn't want this deal. So now we don't have the deal. They got what they wanted. And now Iran is saying, okay, well, we have no deal, so I guess we can go ahead and up our enrichment of uranium. And now that is going to be cause somehow for Israel to go to war with Iran. And after Israel goes to war with Iran, we're going to be there to back them up. So you see, we don't have to be the bad guys in this. We don't actually have to be the ones to declare war. Israel will do it.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles in Great Millstone, and Barakatham to the brothers that's doing this truth with faith and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, okay? And this is Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom. Okay, that he hath taken against this country, Babylon the Great, man. And his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, Amalek, who are those, those people over there in Israel, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Slakia. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Okay. So when Amalek, those people over there in Israel, those so-called Jews, when they, attack Iran, America's going to get involved. Babylon the Great is going to get involved in that war. And not only is America going to get involved in that war, but since Iran is being backed by Russia, it's going to be an all-out war from them, man. Once those two countries, once America and Russia gets involved in that war, it's going all up from them, man. What Jake be talking about, man, it's up there and it's stuck there, man. It's going to be up there and it's going to be stuck there because once they get involved, man, those nukes will be raining not too soon after, man. Once Russia gets involved, China's going to get involved, Pretty soon all these other countries are going to get involved. And even America's own allies, will shoot nuclear missiles at this place here in Babylon the Great, man. And I want to go get, this is 1 Thessalonians. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay? But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief, man, because we know that this nuclear war is coming, man. We know all hell is about to get ready to break loose in Babylon, man. We know that the mark of the beast chip, that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, man. We see it coming, man. We see it coming. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 3. You know, if you can't see what's about to happen, man, this gospel has been hid from you. This truth has been hid from you, man. Your eyes have been blinded by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that you can't see America is going down right now, man. And I want to go back to Jeremiah. This is chapter 50, and I'm going to start at verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And that north country, you better believe it, that north country is Russia, man. Once Russia, you know, once America comes and backs up Israel in that war with Iran, Russia's going to get involved, man. And once Russia gets involved, you know what it is after that, man. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Okay? Their arrows, and they're not speaking about no arrows from, you know, like an archer, you know. This is not that, man. This is, those arrows that they're speaking about are those nuclear missiles, man. You know, let me start. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Okay, so all those missiles are going to hit their mark, man. Each missile that is shot is going to hit their mark. Okay. And this is verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord, man. So all these countries that, you know, that has a nuclear missile is going to be shot, man. Mainly at this place here, Babylon the Great. Okay, and and to prove that, this is Amos. This is Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. Okay, behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and that sinful kingdom is Babylon the Great, America, man. And I will destroy it. You see that I will destroy it, because ultimately those nuclear missiles are going to be shot by way of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. You know? And behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. Okay? Because the remnant, you know, the 144,000 elect is going to be delivered via chariot, man, as those nuclear missiles are striking America and other places, man. The brothers are going to be delivered by way of those chariots, man. And I know you've been seeing those chariots in the news lately. You know, they said I believe the Pentagon just have confirmed video of some you know, chariot sightings, who the world inwardly calls UFOs, you know. But really they're IFOs, you know. They're identified flying objects, because we know what they are. You know? Esau somewhat shaking in his fucking boots right now, you know, because he know that time is almost over, man. He know he has but a short time left, man. Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back. Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back, and man, he's ready to fuck them up, man. And that's putting it lightly. You know, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakakadash, Double honors to the elders and the apostles in Great Millstone. This thing is almost over, man. This thing is almost a wrap. We almost up out of here, brothers. Okay?